Hi everybody, I'm just going to come on and talk about some energy work. I often get asked to move people on from the other side. The spirit world come and speak to me. Someone has got trapped or people have got trapped and they can't move on for one reason or another. Often it's because of whatever happened in the trauma, the cause of that trauma, the energy, especially if it gets out into social media or the media, really more than social media, people have their own thoughts about it and they get trapped in the arguments and the feelings of other people. So I get called in to help out. This painting, by the way, is by myself. Where's my name? Carolo. I painted this. I painted it because I love the way when the wind blows, it scatters seeds and things off the plants and they move on. But I was guided to pick this up when they were asking me to do some healing work. And before I can start anything, I have to understand about that healing work. Now, this was a really complex one for me because I was looking at my picture and I was thinking, well, what's going on? They were showing me imagery. They took me to a program on the TV to give me some sort of idea of what I might be healing. And this was not, well, it was healing to a point, but healing can mean all sorts of things. And in this case, it was helping people who were really, really loved, hugely loved, and they had all this beautiful love energy around them, but they couldn't move from the spot they died at. They were trapped there. They were trapped there by sheer energy. It was energy itself that had caused them to be trapped there. How they got there was unbelievably awful, but it was energy itself that caused the problem. And in this case, it was a massive explosion on an incredible force. And these people died instantly. They were, in some cases, they were already dead, but the people on the ground were still alive and kicking, and they died instantly. But when they did, exactly like this picture shows, they fragmented in energy. They didn't die whole. So where you see the main like plant parts and then all the bits around them, that's energy moving away. And that is exactly what happened to them. It was energy moving away. And it stayed around the area, but it stopped them being a complete item. Therefore, technically, it existed but didn't. It exists between worlds, maybe the best way of putting it. Between worlds, they existed. And that kept them stuck where they were, but hugely loved. Oh, the energy was just amazing that I could see they were loved. They were loved by the people left on this planet who are still loving them and grieving them and trying to hold their lives in a normal position. Loved by the people, it involved an awful lot of people. So my job was to bring them all back together, and then they were just dispersed straight into where they should be, in the right places. And I thought about it at the time, and I thought, wow, am I going to do that? It happened, this incident happened in the 80s. I'm now in 2026. And I'm not looking at the energy of a whole person. I'm looking at it in fractured form, and it's now we're looking at it in the isotopic form, in really in nuclear form, where it's really small and fractured and it's gone somewhere. And I realised the only way to do that was to see the original, well, to not see the original footage, but to be able to go back to that time. Very fortunately, I was watching a documentary and it had real footage from the time. So as soon as that came on, that's what I used, that energy from the original footage, to bring everything back together again, and off it went. But it was very interesting. I've never ever been asked to do this work before by the spirit world. And again, it needs a lot of energy for the people, the spirit world, to come and ask me to do it. And fortunately, there were a lot of people involved in this. So that's how it happened. They came to see me and asked. But now I've got a much clearer picture of this, and an idea that and I have asked about other things that have happened. And I've been told that at the moment, that can stay, they have to stay where they are. If there is a problem there, I don't know if there is a problem. I've just asked about certain things where huge amounts of energy are used. What happens when people are like disintegrated? Because this is what this is. It's a complete disintegration of matter and moving it somewhere else. And where would it go? Can it be retrieved and all put back together again? It's a big subject in itself. And as I say, one I've never ever been asked to work on, but this one I did, and it's all gone to where it should be. They're all back. So it's a perfect picture now. But they kept showing me this because I had to understand my own painting, which had nothing to do with this incident. But I was just fascinated by that when the wind blows and seeds and things like pollen all flies off the plant. I mean, normally that would go somewhere and land and regrow itself, hopefully. But this wasn't like that, and nothing could regrow itself. This was a human being we're looking at. And the energy, the blueprint of that, where is it now? So it was there, but it had to be all joined back together again. So nothing's as you see it to be. And so much work goes on in the background by people like myself who work to heal the unseen. I work to heal people who cross over through suicide, death. Some people die. And as they're looking at their life being shown to them, they're shown that they were stabbed in the back and they were murdered or killed, had to be killed by somebody because of lies spread about them. That is an incredibly difficult subject matter, and often they don't go. They want revenge. Some people's revenge, fortunately, is meeting up with the partner that they wanted to be with and they were not allowed to be with in their lifetime. And that partner has since died. And because they felt the same, I can then join them up and off they go, happy. They'll still have to have a lot of healing, a lot of trauma needs to go, X, Y, Z, but they'll understand why they were separated and all the rest of it. And they don't often want revenge because they're with the person they loved. It's when people aren't with the people they love and they had their life cut short by somebody who created a lie, a false lie, and then that ended their life. They often do not transfer over and then they come back for revenge. And that is extremely dangerous indeed. Because it means that that person's life will go back. They'll actually feel that they've gone back in time to another point in their life. They might even recognise the whole scenario they're now playing out in a story. And if they're recognising a story that hadn't previously been there because they'd left it, moved on, built a new life, you know, everything was going hunky-dory, everything's nice, they're all having a good time. If they had someone killed or through their lies someone died, and they don't go over because they want revenge, and they are allowed to have revenge. No one is allowed to take that life. You might find your life gets stuck and starts playing out the same scenarios again and again and again and again. And if that is happening to you, that will be your reasoning. You may go to many healers and they won't be able to heal it or clear it, because you have to have some link back to that original time. So maybe you might watch a TV program before the incident happened. You might watch something and think, actually, I know what, when I can name where I was when I did that. I can name it. Then you need that information at hand when you go to a healer who can do retrieval work. If they can't do retrieval work, they won't be able to go anywhere near the place. And they don't want to go near the place, I would suggest. Because you know, it's very hard work. You are not allowed access anywhere. There are not many people in this whole world that have access to any place they want to go to, because there are questions to be answered. People have to come and say, I'll help you, or allow you in. Yeah. So they might go to someone and they say, oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah. And they fucking can't. And I have met enough people who can't, who then come to me and say, oh, I'm helping a client. Can you help me? In the past I have, but I'm not doing it anymore, because they don't give me any share of the money. And then I find out they were charging hundreds and hundreds of pounds for the job they're doing, because it is hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth. And they just say, oh yeah, no, yeah, they were all right. Yeah, no, that's all right. And then I find they paid, I know, in one case, £500 to the medium to get rid of this energy and move them on. And what did I get? Absolutely nothing. Well, sod off, you fuckers. If you can't do the job, don't do it. So this is also to people who say they can do a job and then they can't. And the people that got themselves in that mess, well, you got themselves in that mess. If you want to stab people in the back and be nasty, you go ahead and do it. But there will be massive repercussions, and they'll be paid for in the next 2 years. So this energy is all about fragmentation energy. I always seem to get travelled off into that particular subject matter where people have harmed people and then think they've got away with it. There is no such thing as karma. That was a word made up so everyone thought they could carry on and do what they want, because up until this lifetime, this century, everyone has been able to do what they wanted and had to wait till they died and came back, which could be 1,000 years later, to replay their karma. Well, that's not karma, is it? Karma's supposed to be what goes around comes around, or so they say. Well, all of it was lies, but anyway, it's not lies anymore. Every action you do, everything you do, does come back to you now. Now, in this split second, it's back with you. Some people will have near-miss accidents. Their fingers might nearly get chopped off indoors. They might trip over and think, oh my God, if I was a fraction out, I'd have lost my head or my arm or whatever. That will be karma, especially if it's a soppy little thing and you think, why did I do that? Christ, I would never have done that before. That's your karma coming back. And it will tell you through your head what you did wrong. If you can't clear it, it will keep coming back. I can't imagine you want that either. So just think about yourself. If you feel that you have always been a really kind, nice person, and you've cared about society and you've cared about yourself in particular, how you interact with the world, how you are seen within the world, and how you act to yourself, you won't be having karma, you won't be having anything nasty happen to you. But if you aren't, and you have been a backstabber and you're not very nice, then karma will be knocking at your door. Or even revenge, people wanting revenge. Neither's a good place to be in, but you will need it cleared. Let's seek out the people that can clear it for you, at whatever cost that is.